Hello, welcome back to Intro to Prototype with Maquette. On the last episode, we talked about the landscape of XR design, tools, when to use them, and all kinds of tiers of prototyping. Today, I'm going to introduce Maquette to you, this amazing tool, and we're going to learn when and why we use Maquette. This is the second part of the series, Intro to Maquette Prototyping, and here is the reasons. Remember, we were talking about mid-fidelity, low-fidelity, and high-fidelity prototyping for XR design? Maquette is an amazing tool for mid-fidelity prototype, the kind of prototype where you test basic visual ideas, laying out the ground, just making everything a little bit more official, but not too much. Maquette rises and shines when it comes to fluently design your prototype. We have three very big advantages over everything else. We have Fluent Control, we have Fluent Process, and we have Fluent Asset Pipeline. So we're going to use 3 videos to introduce these 3 big advantages. Let's go. When we are talking about Fluent Control, the first point is Fluent Editing. We're using the default Maquette sample scene as an example. So here you can see it's really easy to grab anything from its position. You can just hold it and then use the joystick to resize it, and you can see the size. Also, you can have this attached to any surface if you want as a snapping object, which makes precise manipulation really easy. If you're not happy with it, you can always undo. The second point of Fluent Control is intuitive interaction. So in Maquette, you have a lot of ways to access your tools. For example, using the tooltip here, you can just use those 8 tools by hovering your cursor to that place, which makes it really fast. The third part of Fluent Control is precise manipulation. So in Maquette, we have a tool called the Gizmo, which is very close to the 3D software that you used to use in 2D interfaces. So here, you can just select it, press the Activate Gizmo, and then there you have it. You can move the object along certain axis, rotate it by a certain degree, even duplicate it along the axis. So that's Fluent Control. This separates Maquette from all the other 3D prototype tool in VR because of Fluent Control. The second benefit of using Maquette is Fluent Process. In Maquette, you have a abundant library of assets you can just drag and drop into the scene. You have the very simple shapes and forms, and you have the little bit more complex shapes. So you can drag it out, reshape it, duplicate, and you can create a more complex object just by using those simple shapes. The second point of Fluent Process is in Maquette, it's really easy to set up multi-scene prototype. So in here, we have one scene. Just pressing this plus will create an identical scene. Using this, you can create walkthrough prototypes. For example, we can say by pressing this plus button or this search button, the text will go to the right. So in the next scene, we'll just move it to the right. And then using the joysticks, you'll see how that works. So in the first thing we press, and then boom, it moves. The third benefit of Fluent Process is it's really easy to set up a presentation. So in Maquette, you have a head camera that you can record what you're looking at. You have a handheld camera that you can hold as a sort of like a movie camera. Also, on the computer, you can set up how other people view it. It can be a default resolution, high resolution. People can even navigate on their own while you are having a VR view. So in this example, the people controlling keyboard and mouse can just fly around and see things on their own. Okay. The third benefit of using Maquette is Fluent Asset Pipeline. So in Maquette, you can easily use external assets. You can import it to your folder to use it in your scene, or you can use Google Poly. For example, we can use this astronaut really fast coming from Google Poly. You can see it loads pretty fast, and you can even have it as an editable object that you can change the color of it. So here, astronaut will change to a pure color object. The second part of Assets Pipeline is that you can really easily copy, paste, and reuse your components. For example, this group over here, just select it and use your grip to hold it, and then press trigger. You will just stamp it all over your scene. It's really fast to copy any components. If you want to reuse it in your second or third scene, what you have to do is just go to the clone panel, grab it, put it in your clipboard, create a new scene, and you can drag this assets right into your scene, which is just amazing. This speeds up the workflow dramatically. And the final point, when it comes to exporting assets, Maquette can export your assets in a really good way to game engines or 3D software as you want them to be. So if you group them, click export, you'll have all kinds of options. You'll have FBX, GLTF, and GLB. The grouped object will export it with the texture, with the image, and it will also be grouped as you group them in Maquette. So it's really easy to work with when you have them out. To recap, we have three really big benefits: Fluent Control, Fluent Process, and Fluent Pipeline. In the Fluent Control, you have fast editing, intuitive interactions, and precise manipulation. Remember how easy it is to move things around? That is just amazing compared to any traditional 2D screen 3D software. We have Fluent Process. You have abundant library of 3D assets for you to move around, create your own scenes. You have very fast way to build your multi-scene app. So you can have 1, 2, 3 scenes, so you can have a little story walkthrough. And it's really easy to set up presentation, both for you to record or for people outside to see what's going on inside your VR prototype. And you have Fluent Asset Pipeline. You can easily use any external resources. Maquette has Google Poly implemented. You can just search and use it all the time. And also, it's really easy to copy and paste and reuse whatever you created. This is something that no other VR prototype is doing right now, which is truly amazing. And you can also export your assets or all of your designs to your traditional workflows to work upon them. And that's just crazily good. So, when to use Maquette? If you want to get your idea started, you want to see them in VR, go ahead and just grab Maquette and do it. That's the magic of Fluently designed Mid-Fidelity prototype. But if you want to have something that is interactable, if you want to have something that you want to put on a headset, rather than the PC version, you want to put it into the Quest or the Vive Focus, you have to build it in Unity and put it there. So this is the second tutorial on Intro to Maquette, talking about why to use it and when to use it. See you around in the third one. To wrap it up, you can always go to this website, app.ludus.one/Maquette01, to see the full presentation.